The story is about a young boy who discovers that his reclusive neighbor is actually a long-lost superhero, thought to be dead, and their struggle against a revived criminal menace.
Samaritan's dead. Oh, cool.
The story starts with a myth of twin brothers with unbreakable willpower and exceptional strength. One night, neighbors lock their house and set it on fire, killing their parents. The twins escape but go separate ways. Samaritan dedicates his life to protecting the city, while Nemesis seeks vengeance and dreams of ruling the world. Sam, a 13-year-old kid, and his mother Tiffany now reside in a small apartment. Tiffany receives meager pay for her efforts. Tiffany tells him to take out the garbage and leaves. Sam is a huge Samaritan fan. He thinks the Samaritan is still alive and paints several images of him. It is pouring when he steps outdoors. He notices the Nemesis emblem in the garbage can there. Sam used spray paint to draw the Samaritan emblem over the Nemesis symbol. Unexpectedly, Joe Smith, an elderly resident of the adjacent flat, arrives and places his trash in the trash can. Behind the garbage can, Sam hides. Joe removes a little fan from the trash can after emptying it and heads to his house. Joe is a single man living alone in his apartment. He works in the garbage cleaning department. He also repairs old electronics found in the garbage and sells them at the pawn shop. When Sam returns to his flat the next day after school, the landlord has locked it since Tiffany hasn't paid their rent. Sam heads to the park after worrying about it. Joe is on that route home from work, carrying an antique radio. Is the radio working? Sam yells out to him. According to Joe, it's dead. Why does he have a broken radio? Sam wonders. After seeing his shattered watch, Joe questions why he has it and leaves for home. When Sam's friend shows up, he invites Sam to accompany him if he wants to make some money. Sam accompanies him to an abandoned house in order to steal several copper coils and resell them for $40. Amid the chaos caused by the epic battle between Samaritan and Nemesis, Cyrus, a gangster and avid fan of Nemesis, arrives on the scene with his girlfriend Syl, commanding a group of thieves. In the realm of criminal underground, Cyrus is a strong character. Jace declines to let his associate Reza carry out a coastside heist. Sam, a group member, offers to participate in the endeavor instead. Sam's strategy includes setting up a distraction to divert the business owner. Sam was able to get the owner's attention by deftly simulating the cut and covering his forehead with sauce. Reza and his accomplice were able to swiftly flee after stealing many crates thanks to this diversion. But when they saw the crates only had potatoes, indicating they had taken the wrong item, their enthusiasm quickly turned to regret. To avoid Cyrus's wrath, Reza falsely accuses Sam of taking the wrong box despite Sam's protests that he had followed their instructions. Reza's frustration flared up and he assaulted Sam. Cyrus, who had come to ask how old Sam was surprised to learn that he was just 13. He gave the youngster $200 as a prize and chastised Reza for what he had done. Sam learns from Syl that Cyrus is in love with him. When Sam gets back to his flat, his mother Tiffany is there to beg the landlord for an extension on the rent-paying period. Giving the money Cyrus provided him to his mother, Sam begs her to pay the rent. Satisfied, the homeowner lets them into the residence. Sam ingeniously fabricates a tale to divert Tiffany's attention from the money's genuine source when she questions him about its provenance. The next day, while Sam is going to school, Reza and his friends see him and chase him. Sam runs as fast as he can, but Reza catches him in the end. Reza begins to beat Sam. Joe comes there and throws away Reza's friends. Reza gives Joe a hit to the gut, but Reza is wounded. Joe pushes all of his pals away and shows no concern for him. Joe stops Reza's attempt to attack him with a knife by crushing it between his bare hands. Reza flees. Without a word, Joe walks out of the building. Sam recognizes him as a Samaritan after witnessing his sturdiness and strength. When he got home, he was able to view Joe's flat via his binoculars. Upon noticing the numerous burn wounds on his back, He affirms that he is a Samaritan. Wearing police clothes, Cyrus, Syl, and his group head to the evidence locker. The guard demands to see their identification. After Cyrus uses a grenade to murder him, his group accesses the safe locker. Cyrus finds the helmets of Nemesis and Samaritan and the hammer of Nemesis. He takes the hammer and breaks the door, feeling the power of the hammer. Sam follows Joe and observes his every action. He stops following Joe's request. A scrapbook filled with newspaper clippings from the Samaritan is discovered by Sam after breaking through Joe's window. To his home, Sam brings the book. Joe heads to Sam's residence to inform Tiffany of the situation after discovering the book is stolen. Sam is asked to give his book back by Tiffany. Sam remains drawn to Joe despite their last meeting. Asking whether he is the fabled Samaritan, Sam comes up to him once again. Claiming to be simply another admirer, Joe, who is masking his name, brushes off the investigation. Unfortunately, Reza and his companions crash into Joe, cutting short their talk. It looks like a significant influence. Joe is seriously injured, causing him to fall to the road, seemingly lifeless. Distraught, Sam runs to Joe's side, overcome with grief. But amazingly, Joe miraculously regains consciousness, his wounds healing instantly before Sam's eyes, revealing his true identity as Samaritan. Joe, who was hurt by the blow, makes the straightforward request for water, highlighting how weak he is in spite of his superpowers. Sam becomes intrigued by Joe's unconventional means of healing, taking an ice-cold bath and eating ice cream when he gets home. Joe reveals that the secret to his strength is that when he is hurt, his body creates too much heat and needs to be cooled right away to save his heart from breaking. Sam, trying to piece everything together, questions whether Nemesis's demise will result from this defect. The mention of Nemesis, however, obviously annoys Joe, who asks Sam to move on and piques interest in the unspoken conflicts between the brothers. In the middle of the city, Cyrus wears Nemesis's mask and takes his hammer. He asks all the gangsters and thieves to start a revolution to steal things from wealthy people. The general public believes that Nemesis has returned, and the number of crimes is sharply rising. When Sam visits Joe the next day, he inquires about his daily schedule. Joe claims that although he used to be stronger, growing older has made him somewhat weaker. Sam's broken watch is given to Joe, who promises to attempt to restore it. Sam leaves and thanks him. On the other hand, Cyrus, going by the name Nemesis, and his group are causing a lot of trouble in the city by committing several crimes. Joe becomes irate after repeatedly hearing the term Nemesis, as the media is all over this. Sam wants Joe to give him a fighting lesson. Joe concurs. When Sam tries it on him, something goes wrong. Joe provides him with some ice. Sam presses him once again on Nemesis. Joe gets angry and asks him to leave his house. While going, Cyrus picks up Sam. Sam goes with him and sees him killing a cop. Sam gets scared and runs away. While running, he sees Reza beating Jace. Reza escapes after Sam gives him a beating. After breaking Sam's wrist, Reza abandons him close to his residence. Reza and Joe looked at each other. Sam was admitted to the hospital by Joe. Reza informs his companion that the elderly guy they struck with their vehicle is still alive. When Cyrus notices the automobile is damaged, he asks his group to bring him. They start fighting with Joe when they pursue him down an alley. Joe gives them all severe beatings and tosses them into the air. He is not hurt even when they shoot at him. Joe triumphs over them all. When a small girl notices everything, she asks Joe how he accomplished it. As spectators start to round Joe and record the action on their phones, the scenario intensifies dramatically. When someone throws a grenade at Joe, things become serious. With his quick thinking and extraordinary abilities, Joe grabs a nearby girl for protection, skillfully flipping a car to act as a shield from the grenade explosion. His heroic actions ensure the girl's safety, attracting media attention. News organizations covered the incident and announced Samaritan's comeback to the public. Joe leaves the town after learning this information since he feels more and more in danger. But after seeing the broadcast, Cyrus, the gangster who was previously introduced, decides to confront Joe face to face, bringing his group to his home. They discover it deserted since Joe ran away, fearing for his life. Sam is found via Joe's apartment window when Cyrus, irate, gives the order for a search of his home. Combining Sam and Joe's friendship, Cyrus devises a plan to utilize Sam to locate Joe. Realizing that Joe and Sam are allies, he orders his gang to capture Sam. In a desperate escape attempt, Sam and his mother Tiffany try to escape, but Cyrus and his gang quickly capture them. Sam brashly proclaims that Samaritan will save them in the middle of the mayhem. Cyrus catches Sam, and his friend Syl defeats Tiffany. Joe is waiting for the train on the other side. He heads to Sam's residence to return the watch after seeing it suddenly in his luggage. Tiffany is in the kitchen, sobbing. She claims Cyrus abducted Sam. After becoming enraged, Joe packs a truck with drums of oil and drives to Cyrus's house. Cyrus intends to blow up the power plant so that everyone in his gang will steal simultaneously and the entire city will go dark. Joe gets there. The guards attempt to halt the vehicle. Joe destroys every one of them, crashing the truck into the structure. Sam sees this and tells Cyrus that he is going to fail like Nemesis. All of the gangsters in there began to shoot Joe from all directions. Joe beats many of them. Cyrus comes there and says that he is going to end what Nemesis started. Joe asks Cyrus to let Sam go. After saying no, Cyrus uses the hammer to beat Joe. Joe trips and falls. Cyrus repeatedly beats him. Joe attempts to awaken. Cyrus tries to hit Joe with the hammer once again and declares that nice men always fall. Joe says, "I'm not the good guy," blocking the hammer. Sam and Cyrus are taken aback. Samaritans seem to have been the victim of the collision. Nemesis was living as Joe after escaping the blast. "I am the villain," declares Joe as he picks up the hammer. His demeanor demonstrates his nasty nature. The truck's oil drums suddenly burst, killing several of the criminals, including Syl. Joe murders them all without showing any remorse. Many of them surround him at a time. Joe breaks the pillars near him and makes the ceiling fall down. In the chaos of the disaster, Joe miraculously survives and rushes to find Cyrus. After tying Sam to the pipe's remnants, Cyrus gave the command for his followers to plunge the city into darkness. Abruptly, the city experienced a blackout, and criminals dressed in the mask of Nemesis committed acts of assault, theft, and arson. Cyrus howled like a beast in the middle of the building's fire. As a tired Joe finds Sam and tries to save him, he hears his scream for assistance. But Cyrus surprises Joe with a hammer, setting off a heated altercation. Joe feels the temperature increasing and his pulse rate quickening as Cyrus tries to push him out of the burning building. In a desperate struggle, Sam breaks free and attacks Cyrus from behind, giving Joe the opportunity to trap Cyrus with his hammer, immobilizing him with a powerful thrust. Joe hurls Cyrus off the building, a grim echo of Samaritan's fate half a century ago. Joe passes out from exhaustion and heat exhaustion, but Sam acts quickly and cuts a neighboring water line to assist Joe cool off. Joe and Sam make a daring escape, falling through a wall and jumping over a nearby building as the structure starts to crumble. While they are secure, a perplexed Sam queries Joe about his identity as Nemesis, to which Joe replies. But Sam is convinced because he promised a brighter day and saved Sam. Reporters swarm as Sam credits the Samaritan for saving him. Joe smiles at Sam before disappearing under the bridge at the end of the movie. Hit subscribe and the bell for more awesome videos. See you in the next one.